It's a warm welcome, viewers, to the show. I'm your host, Molo Collins, and of course, this is Sporten TV, your number one leading sports channel. And on all social media platforms, we are at Sporten TV on YouTube and at Molo Collins on Facebook. Remember to view, subscribe, and also comment and share, and also hit that notification button so that we'll be among the first ones to be notified when we do drop a new content. And on set today I have my residential guest, that is Coach Maish. Coach Maish, welcome to the show.
Glad to have me around.
Always a pleasure. Now, our main topic today is going to revolve around Manchester City. That is the 2022-2023 Premier League champions. Kudos to all Man City fraternity or all across the globe, Coach Pep Guardiola and Manchester City fans all over the world. It has been a good year for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. The 2022-2023 English Premier League champions. Now, Coach Maish, if I may just start with you, did you expect that Manchester City will go all the way and lift their third consecutive title under Pep Guardiola?
Well, I didn't expect a lot from Man City this year, because we could see from the beginning of the season they weren't up there. They were wobbling, and it was Arsenal who people were looking at, because they had a very fantastic season. I don't know where it went wrong, but then I do believe most of the time you just don't have to count your chips before they hatch. So I think that's what undid the Arsenal story.
Of course, Coach Maish, and I do remember on this same platform on this show I did ask Major Don, is Arsenal really capable of going all the way? And he did assure me that Arsenal has all it takes to go all the way with Manchester City, and indeed they gave them a good run for their money before fumbling towards the end of the season. Do you think that where should the congratulation go? Is it Pep Guardiola, is it the Manchester City board, or is it the players?
No, I do believe in every given game, then everybody is involved, the board, the coaching staff, the players. I think it is always a teamwork, and when you see that Guardiola is functioning, then I think he has some encouragement, or some, what would we say, some he has some people who are assisting him in everything that he wants. So you can see, even in having won the league last year, so I do believe they wanted to just feel it wasn't just another game or another chance, but then they wanted it to follow up with this one. So I do believe mostly it's all up to the teamwork.
It's all about teamwork, of course. And we saw that when the season started, Arsenal was in a very impeccable form, and Manchester City could not just surpass Arsenal with the brand of football that Arsenal was displaying at that juncture. But coming the second leg, we see that Pep did manage to change the tables around, and Manchester City went on to win about 13-14 matches on the trot, something that they did last year when Liverpool were on their neck, and the same thing happened this season. Do you think that Pep Guardiola is a genius, or just maybe he's a serial winner?
Now, when you look at Pep, he has all got everything what would I say? He has anything figured out, and you will see that whenever he buys a player, he buys it to cover a position. And I do believe it is the depth of Man City that is winning them cups, because you can see whenever you bring Alvarez, he has something to offer. Whenever you bring Mahrez, he has something to offer. So you see he's juggling with his team, and yet the system doesn't change, or what would we say, the tactic doesn't change, and he goes on winning. And it's kudos to Guardiola, because he's been very consistent ever since the league started. He's been wobbling but then you can see him coming back and coming out strongly. And most definitely, when it comes to the last lap, he's very good. We saw that last year but one, we saw it last year, and now we are seeing it with Arsenal. So it's all up to the finish line. It isn't about playing all the long distance or what have you. You just have to observe the finish line. Yeah.
You just have to observe the finish line. Now, we see that Coach Guardiola has been consistent, but he has been using the same kind of players. And what do you think can be the secret behind Pep Guardiola performing at these levels, always pushing his players to achieve more than they have? What will be the secret behind Pep Guardiola's success?
Now, at one time I said that Pep Guardiola had ego, and that's true. Because when they were wobbling, I do believe they were having a very rough time with the staff and the players. So I do believe it's all about the ego. He just saw that, and he worked on that. And coming to the second leg, you can see that there is a cohesion between the players, the staff, and the coach. And you really love to see Manchester City playing, because even when they are playing in the international league, the Champions League, you can see they are coming out shining, because they've got this understanding that it's all up to the teamwork. And you can see that they are delivering all goods, because now they are in the final, just like last year but one, they were in the final. And now they are facing the
Inter
Milan of Italian.
Yeah.
And you can see that Italian outfit is not also a walk in the park, because the games that they have won them very, very positively. And you can see we got a final with us, and they are also in the FA. So you can see it's a team that have all the rights to brag. They have the bragging rights, because last time we had such kind of a feat, I think it's during the Manchester era, when Alex Ferguson was at the helm of coaching, and that is 1999, when they won all the 3 cups. It is said that they are the biggest cups, the league, the FA, and then they went on to win the Champions League.
That is the famous treble for Manchester United, and we'll get back to that. And before we move on, we've seen that Pep Guardiola team, it's about teamwork, and it all trickles down to teamwork and above all discipline. And remember, Pep Guardiola is a manager that has never abandoned his philosophy of play just to defeat a team. He always sticks by his standards and by his rules, and we can see that has managed to bear some fruits for this Spanish tactician. Now, Coach Manish, do you think that the rest of the coaches in the English Premier League should borrow a leaf from what Pep Guardiola is doing to this Manchester City outfit and try to emulate for the other teams to follow?
Yeah, I do think when you look at Pep Guardiola with his ego and his you would like to hate him, because he's up there and he doesn't tolerate any nonsense, and he would if at all he wants a player, he gets it, and whenever he wants a player gone, it's just at the tip of the thumb, and you can see he has some arrogance, but then he's delivering. So whenever you see such kind of a person, it's a person to be emulated, only that you shouldn't go for that arrogancy, because that might also cost you. I think his arrogance comes from what he has achieved as a coach, and he knows that he is up there with the best. Like this year, he is there to win 3 cups, which is a feat that was done like 24 years ago. That's talking about Manchester. So I think he has done a very good job at Manchester City, and he is a coach to be emulated, and he is a coach up there with the best. Yeah.
He is, of course, one of the best coaches to ever coach a team matters football. And before we move on, I think that Manchester City is going to be on the same leagues or on the same pedestal that Manchester is, because considering that Manchester United did this in the year 2006, 2007 year, but they also did this in 2007 and also 2008 and 2008, 2009. 3 consecutive EPL champions, and no side has done that ever since. And they also repeated the same feat in the 1998 season, 1999, 1999 season, 2000 and 2001 season. And Manchester City have also broken that barrier, and they've done it in 2020 season, 2021 season, 2022 and 2022 season, 2023. Standards have been set by this genius Pep Guardiola. And now let's talk players. We've seen that Manchester City have maintained a number of players for some years, and in that discipline, I just like to mention Ederson, who has been in Manchester City for now about more than 5 years, and is the second goalkeeper after Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United to have won a treble, being the only 2 keepers now in the English Premier League to do so. Now, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Gundogan, and we also have the likes of Akanji. But Akanji has just joined them recently. We've seen that he has managed to maintain some crop of players. And do you think that is the secret behind his success?
Well, sometimes you got to retain some players so that your philosophy or how you want them play might be built on them. So I do believe some of the games will revolve on 1 player or 2 or 3, and you can see that most of the coaches don't want to lose players. They just want to build on them so that eventually their philosophy of playing football can be envisaged through these players. And you can see that, like De Bruyne, Gundogan, you can see every time he steps in the field, he usually delivers. So it's like a coach has a heart for some players, and he builds a team around that player. Yeah.
Do you think that Haaland was the missing piece in this Pep Guardiola kind of play? Because we've seen that since Haaland joined Manchester City, he has set the ground running, and he has been breaking records after records. And at the start of the season, when it was not all rosy for Haaland, some quarters started to blame Pep and say that he bought Haaland, but Haaland was not delivering goods. But we see now a very re-energized Haaland, banging goals right, left and center. Do you think that Haaland was the missing piece in Pep Guardiola's game?
No, I don't think he was. You will say that per se, because they've reached the final and they played Manchester City without Haaland, and they won the league without Haaland. So Haaland having come to Manchester City, I do believe it was an add-on. So for whatever reasons, the philosophy that he has So I do believe Haaland coming in Man City is a good cause, and he may go a long way into achieving what Guardiola could not achieve. So I do believe he is an add-on, but then he is also a missing piece in everything that Guardiola wished for, because you can see in every game that he plays, he's breaking record, and eventually you can see he's young, he's coming, so he has got a career ahead of him, and you can see that this boy is growing to be one of the most lethal striker that England has ever produced, not mentioning the likes of Ronaldo and
Wayne Rooney.
So I do believe he's just 19, 20?
Currently he's 21.
21.
Yeah.
So you can see the kind of perception he has. He's just growing up. He's just a boy. And when he grows to become a man, now I think he would have banged every trophy and every what would we call it? What has been put ahead of him. He will be breaking records every time that he plays. He's all out there with the best, and I do believe he's doing marvelous. He's a good catch.
Well, Haaland is a good catch by all standards. And to Manchester United, I remember a few years back, he was in the radar of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did actually recommend for Manchester United to get his signature, but somehow it didn't happen. And finally, he landed at Etihad Stadium, and that is Haaland for you. Now, Coach Maish, Manchester City still have 2 matches to play to make this English Premier League to a wrap, and we saw that they played against Chelsea, but already Manchester City were ready to be crowned the EPL championship winner, whether they won or they don't lose, but somehow they still managed to win that match courtesy of Alvarez goal. Do you think that Manchester City will try to set another standard by the 2 remaining matches? Because if they win their 2 remaining matches, somehow it will bring them to a 94-point tally. What's your take on that?
Now, when you are winning, you just don't, or when you want to win a trophy, you just don't want to win it without style. So they had to win that game with the Chelsea because it was at their own backyard. So I do believe they wanted it done when they are in the Etihad. So I do think that more than ever they will pray to win. Even the remaining 2 games. I told you, just like I told you, they are in an scintillating form, and they've shown it, and they are not there to lose any game. So they want to break every game that every challenge that come with any game. They will want to face it and win it. Now I do believe the 2 games, they are just a walk in the park.
Now let's talk about this player that is Ruben Dias, the Portuguese international defender, and I think he is also the unsung hero in this Manchester United, in this Manchester City side, because he has been the glue that holds together that Manchester City defense, and he has been doing marvelous. But most of the time he's not in the limelight, because most of the time you hear Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Haaland, Gundogan being stealing the limelight. But he's a very good player. What do you make of this defender, Ruben Dias?
Mostly, I think in the world, it wasn't just legendary when they recognized that a defender ought to be celebrated.
Yeah.
It was the Italian who won the Ballon d'Or, was
That was Cannavaro, father of Cannavaro.
Yeah. So I do believe sometimes they are overlooked, but then you could see that even in so much games, they are the one who are calling the shots. They are the one who are urging the players to go forward, not to just keep coming back. He has this covered, and you got to do your part. Now, I do think the command starts from the defense. So when you have a good goalie, you have good defenders, they will always urge the other players upfield to go and get their acts good, because they have their act covered. Yeah, and I believe he is a good player, and it's always good to celebrate such kind of a player, although he doesn't seem to be there with the best, but then he is doing something, and he is unsung, and every time you really feel, you really see football, you feel for the defenders, because they go all the way to show that they've got the team, they've got the spirit in their heart to defend that team. Yeah.
Wow. Now, I've thrown this question to you severally, and on our last show, I think I also did this as we try to bring this to a close. Do you think now that Pep Guardiola, the 3 remaining matches are finals, in fact, facing Manchester United in the FA and facing Inter Milan in the Champions League final? If now you are in the shoe of Pep Guardiola, will you rest some of your best players waiting for those 2 finals, or should you just give them time to have a field day?
Now, if I was in the shoe of the coach Guardiola, there are players that I will rest and give them ample time so that they may take the need. But then players are very funny. They just want to be in the mix of everything. Even when you rest them, they just feel that they have the gas to go on. And you really feel that as a coach, they are burning out, and you want to give them a fresh start. But then they will all look unto you and see that and wonder why you are resting them. So I do believe if you have got a winning team and they are still winning, I don't think there is a burning out. So I do believe that they should play them so that they get this much fitness thing, so that they don't rust. When you rust somebody, there is a degree in his game that goes down. So at least for me, I feel that they should keep these people going, although some of the players that have played for a long time should be rested some minutes. Not all the matches, but some minutes. At least he get the feel of the ball, and he goes out there, he'll do marvelous. And unlike when you rest him, you will cut that consistent that he's been having. Yeah.
Wow, that has been Coach Maish for you, and to Manchester City once again, congratulations, kudos, bravo. It has been one of the best season times in the English Premier League, especially in the second leg of this competition. Once again, congratulations to the 2022-2023 English Premier League champion, Manchester City. And it's a wrap for us. Remember to view, like, subscribe and share. Also drop a comment on the comment section area. Hit that notification button, and remember to support us in every possible way. Well, let's do this again, guys, next time we meet. See you next time. I've been your host, Collins Opio, and my co-host, Coach Maish.
Thank you.
Have a nice one.
Yeah.